Good evening. Welcome, welcome. My name is Tara, and we have Krystal here. Welcome to session 2 of the Virtual Teachers Lounge. We are just at 5:30, so I'm going to give another minute or so to let people come on in, get situated. Um, if you haven't gotten a beverage of choice, warm beverage of choice, maybe you can do that now. If you're just kind of waiting on us, we'd love to know where you're from. You can drop that into the chat if you like. I'm in California. And it is actually chilly here. Yes, the first time we met, end of October, it was blazing hot, but we had rain and it's in the 50s today. So that's really nice in fall. So let us know where you are from. You can put that in the chat. And we'll give another minute before we get started. I got a lot of, oh, Texas. Hey, Nicole, welcome, welcome.
Canada.
Canada's back. Nice, 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 nice.
In Michigan. We've got Stephanie from Michigan.
Ooh, awesome. I know you guys, you're colder there. How cold are you in Michigan right now? And in Canada, what's your temperature? Texas. What part of Texas? What city? Good evening.
Let me tell you how cold it is in Hawaii.
Tell us, Chris.
So it's so funny because when it drops below, like if it's like 72 degrees, I know this sounds so like, what are we complaining about? Like 72 degrees, people be busting out their winter coats, like no joke. It is hilarious.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
And over there in Michigan, freezing in the 20s.
Like, freezing. I know. I see that in the 20s. Oh my Lord. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Indiana, Houston. Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
We get our winter from Costco's freezer in the walk-in section in the eggs.
That'll do it.
That's the winter here.
That's winter, right? I love it. Too funny, Krystal. How cold is it in Canada? I'm just curious.
Oh, -1.
You've got us all beat. Oh my gosh, in November? What? Craziness. Okay, so let me be quiet with my little 50s talk. Love, love, love. Okay, you guys. So this is the lounge, okay? Where things are, you guys have full access to your cameras, to your microphones. So please, 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 if you are in a safe space where you can turn your camera on, you're not driving or whatever, or I know it's dinner time and bedtime for some kiddos. So look, we get it if you can't, but if you can, we'd love for you to turn your camera on. Minimally, we'd love for you to unmute and talk to us. This is the type of environment that we are wanting to really nurture in this space. So it's helpful if you're able to do that, to please do so. You can use the chat if that's the best course of action given your situation. But if you are able to talk and turn your microphone and cameras on, please, please, please do so. We'd love to see you and talk to you. All those things would be wonderful. A couple of housekeeping items since we're 4 minutes after. Again, want to say welcome, welcome to you all from wherever you are between Canada and the United States. We are so happy to have you here, and hopefully you've got a nice throw next to you or a warm beverage for my people in those colder spots. The purpose of this lounge time is to really give voice to some of the things that we know are real in our classrooms, in our school environments, and provide an opportunity and a safe space to talk about them, and more importantly, help you all understand and know that while sometimes we might feel like we're on an island, we're really not. We share so many common grounds and common threads by our experience experiences. And while our experiences might not mirror each other exactly, we can find relatable nuggets in each of them. And the fact that we're in a profession like education where we're so service oriented and we're going after our future, really making sure that we are impacting them. We're bonded by that, hands down. So I'm excited to have you all here. This time we are talking about um, burnout. And we felt like Krystal and I felt like if this topic was rather apropos given the time of year we're in, right? We're just on the start of the busy, crazy holiday season, and the dust has settled from kind of back to school time. And so burnout kicks in, like we gave all we got to kind of make sure that we could get them into this new school year and get our routines established. And so now it's like we're wanting to exhale, but at the same time we're feeling a little because we put in a lot of energy and effort getting the school year started. So I want to talk about, and I would love for you guys to drop it in chat, or you can come off of mute. Um, and again, this topic on burnout is not just for us, but we know we see it in our students too. That's the reality. And so why I would love for you all to talk about, and actually I'm going to give it to you, Krystal, because why am I just talking? Go ahead. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's okay. We love everything you said was amazing, and thank you so much for opening us up. So we're going to start with just kind of like a chat icebreaker. Again, you're welcome to either unmute or drop the word in the chat, but what is one word that describes your current teacher energy? So how are we feeling? How's our teacher energy? You could think about the quarter or how you feel this month, or just any one word, just a single word. Type it in the chat. What is your current teacher energy?
And if you want to come off me,
Ooh, depleted.
yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's that's real. That's good. Thank you. Drain. Yeah.
yeah, exhausted for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I resonate with both of those words though.
Yeah.
Depleted, exhausted. Like I almost want to say like, like when you're a high school senior and you got senioritis, like part of me this year feels like that senioritis.
Yeah.
Where's the joy, guys? Where's the joy?
Right. And think about it, like even going into the holidays. I mean, I know in various parts of the globe, people get a whole week for Thanksgiving. Some people just get Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving, but most of us get a week or 2 weeks for Christmas. And that whole senioritis, like that angst going into having that time off is real, right? Particularly when you're already feeling depleted and drained and exhausted. So, yeah, I definitely get that. Definitely get that.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for chiming in if you're able to. Again, if you're driving or something, definitely don't type
Yes.
anything in the chat. We want you to just listen into everything that we're going to be sharing tonight. So Tahra's gonna explain why this conversation is so important.
Okay. So in session one, we talked about classroom management. And one of the things that we learned in that conversation is first and foremost is that there's a lot to share, right? We all have there are varying classroom management struggles, issues that people are facing, that we're all are facing in the classroom. And what was neat is though while they were different in their own respect, the similarities that we had was like, okay, what are we going to do to get through it, right? Because at the end of the day, we still got to figure out how we're going to manage these these kiddos that we've been that we have for the year. And so with this burnout, we're wanting to talk about like what is actually wearing us down, and trying to see and seeing that in not just in us, but also in our students, and how we're trying to find ways to cope and to get through. Because one of the things that I love about us as educators, though we might feel depleted, drained, exhausted, we are a tenacious group, right? Because of the fact that we've got these little lives in front of us that we know we impact in such a real, tangible way. So what we want to arrive at this evening is what are some of the coping mechanisms? What are you doing now to be able to get through those moments of depletion, exhaustion?
Yeah, so
So,
we have some questions that we want you to start sharing out and thinking about. So again, either you're welcome to unmute and share if we can hear your voice, or if you're not comfortable doing that, the chat feature is always an option too. But first, we wanted to kick it off with also talking about, even though us as teachers are burnt out, students also feel and experience that burnout just as we do. So if you don't mind, what are you guys noticing in your students necessarily that feel like burnout? So I can share a little bit first, I guess. I'll get us started. So some things like in my classroom, when I notice that the kids are getting burnt out, either because they've been working too long on something, they get their behaviors kind of start getting more prominent. And when I say behaviors, I'm talking about disruptive behaviors, or they get chatty or restless, and or they might start giving up, and or the quality of the work goes down. So
mm,
what are some other
mm.
things that maybe you notice in your own classroom? And for context, if you don't mind, also maybe saying what grade you teach, so that way if you're saying something and it's relatable, maybe somebody else in a similar boat with the same grade level can resonate with you. I teach third graders. I know that burnouts for them is definitely in the forms of work ethic, um, and restlessness, chattiness, behaviors, things like that.
That's good. And I love those call outs, Krystal, because so I'm removed from the classroom now. But when I hearing those call outs, it's like, oh yes, that's I do remember that. Like those really help paint a mental picture of what it looks like. What burnout looks like for students. So I'd love to hear from you all. Do you agree? Does it look like something different? Because I know sometimes age grade levels can impact the way it's demonstrated in your classroom, but just would love to hear from you guys. You guys are quieter this go around. Everyone's and that's fine. Again, I understand if you need to use the chat, but please, if you want to unmute, you can do that too. Okay, pre-K, but I feel like they no longer want to. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I see Stephanie definitely agrees with what Krystal was saying. Yes, those were awesome call outs, which I have sixth grade at the end of the day. They
Yeah.
have problems focusing. Lots of, yeah,
Yep.
the
Focus
focusing.
lounge for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. So already we're starting to see the commonalities that really transcend the grade levels, right? They, like I said, their behaviors might be a little more pronounced, but they basically are kind of looking, sounding about the same, right?
Yeah. And I really appreciate, you know, again, for being here. Thank you for taking the time to share what's going on in your classroom. Again, this is a teacher's lounge. Basically, we're here to have conversations about issues that arise in teaching, such as burnout. So thank you again for taking the time. I do see that Nicole is typing up an answer, so we will share that out as soon as we get anything. But if anything else, anybody else wants to keep adding, so Stephanie, if you had anything else you wanted to add, or Kelly, you're welcome to add any other thoughts you have on that question. And if not, we can move forward too.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Okay. So we got student burnout, and then we're shifting it a little bit back to teacher. We're kind of going to go back and forth and talk about how they're related. But how about this? What does burnout feel like for you this season? So we kind of touched upon this a little bit with the word that we dropped in the chat about our energy, but maybe we can be a little more specific about what do you think maybe is causing your burnout, or what about teaching is burning you out? It can kind of go along that realm too. I think for me, again, personally, just this school year, I want to say that it's been one of the most challenging school years that I've ever had. And I've been teaching, this is my 11th school year teaching public school, elementary, and quarter one was definitely one for the books as far as like, I don't know if the kids, I thought maybe I was the problem. It there's a lot of emotions, but I feel like the joy of wanting to come to work has been harder. I feel like I feel less excited about the job, and I don't like feeling that way. I don't want to feel that way because I love my job, you know?
Yeah.
But there's just certain things in the students' behaviors, for example, have just really sucked the energy, the life me, and just feeling like I have to constantly like deal with getting them to just listen, follow directions, and it's like, wow, okay, we've got some answers. So we're so excited about
which I love. And I love that you shared that. I think one of my years, I remember I felt like I did so little teaching, and I felt like I was just more of the quote unquote counselor, and I use air quotes because clearly that's not what I was supposed to be doing or trained to do. But and that was disheartening for me because I liked to teach and I wanted to teach, but it was like trying to get through the behaviors enough so that I could actually teach. So that can be very draining. So I hear you, Krystal, there. That is challenging, especially when you know this, you're in a field that you're passionate about. So I definitely understand that. Okay, I'm reading Nicole's now. She's been particular. Oh, same, difficult for teachers in my district. Sorry for accident. Unfortunately, the goal post keeps moving. Oh, yeah, becoming increasingly apparent that meeting all district expectations is impossible, and my peers and I have embraced do what. Oh, yeah, and yeah.
I agree. I feel like I feel like this is a problem across the board. Like the administration and the teaching initiatives and the things that they think we're capable of just keeps getting greater and greater. The expectation for like what our job entails um, keeps getting greater and greater. What they expect out of us, and that also includes like the things that are after hours. Um, like I just remember this past school year, they kind of guilt tripped us into our evening to like attend this event that was happening at school, but
Hmm.
they just kind of, it feels like if you don't do it, then you're gonna get like shamed for it. And I don't like that. If it's like a volunteer thing, um, or this school year, for Hawaii anyway, the English language arts standards have been updated, and
Hmm.
we've been doing so much training on it, and now we're basically going to have to rethink about the way we teach reading, writing, grammar, spelling, everything, um, and just like, you know, redo everything. So that's going to be fun. As
Yeah.
someone who's the grade level chair, it's very, yeah,
Yes.
it's a lot to think about. And especially for you others who are in leadership positions at your school, um, the expectation for what we have to do, even though we may be getting paid the same amount as the person who doesn't have to do as much or worry about that too. So um, I definitely resonated with that. Yes, more
Hmm.
responsibilities. Kelly's saying creating curriculum from scratch for half the classes. Yep, it's all of that.
Mm. Mm.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, everybody, for sharing.
Yeah,
We're
that's
going to keep
good.
moving this along here. Um, let's talk about boundaries. So we know what
Yeah.
their students are feeling, how we're feeling. What is a boundary that you have drawn that helps protect your peace?
Mm. That's good.
What is a boundary? So this year, fun fact, everybody. I know I keep talking.
No, but this is
Oh,
good.
I have a lot to say. Burnout is so real for me this
Yeah.
year. I feel it in my soul. So I am the last teacher to leave school every day. And I think that that's a
Wow.
very bad thing. So this anyway, in the last couple of weeks, I have been telling myself, hey, it's time to go. Time to go. So my boundary is if it's 4 o'clock, I gotta get
Mm.
out of here.
That's good.
There were days that the custodians were kicking me out because they're like, we
Chris.
gotta go. It's like, what are you doing?
Chris. Oh,
But it's
yeah.
just, you know what I mean? Like when you feel like you want to get it all done and you want to do a good job. So you feel like you just have no choice, but you have to just stay and do everything. That's that's kind of like how I feel.
Yeah.
Um, so I've
And
been staying late. Yeah,
good. I was gonna say, how's that working out? Are you actually are you like setting a timer for yourself and sticking to it?
I am leaving.
Good.
I am not the last to leave anymore. So
Good.
that
Good. Nice.
I've actually been, which has been good. So I've been going home and, spending more time with my family. I have
Yeah.
2 kids, and I think it took this year to realize how important that is versus like being a slave to the job, which sometimes
Yeah.
we can get caught up in.
Yeah.
A boundary I've had to draw for myself in the past is not taking the work home.
That's good. That's
The
good.
grading, like,
Yeah.
and it didn't matter because I would take it home for a little fresh air, a little joyride in the car. But the work did not get done. I was lying to myself. I grabbed the whole stack of basket of papers and took it for a scenic view and brought it back untouched. So
Oh gosh.
I stopped
I'm
that lie. Like the work's not getting done at home. It's why,
exactly.
so
Well,
it's happening. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm laughing because I remember that. Like that would totally be me. I'm like, I'd have my whole grade, 2 grade basket, and here it goes home, and it would do just that, be a scenic view and still not get touched. I remember I had to adopt graders in my classroom because I too often would allow things to pile up and then I would feel overwhelmed and just like end up taking a whole weekend and it's like really Tara, this is what we're doing. So I think it is so important that we talk about boundaries because we all have to set them. Because just as much as we are teachers, we are humans, we are moms, we are wives, we are husbands, whatever um, case it is, we have to set boundaries for ourselves. Okay, I'm looking at I created ultimate boundary by deciding to now that'll do it. Wow, at 33 years, that is awesome. I love
Yeah,
that. Thank you
you've
for
seen it,
sharing, Chris.
has seen it all. 33 years.
Yes. That
If
that I salute a veteran teacher. Like I salute like the Krystals and when it's like 10 plus, you have my full respect. That's awesome. So Chris, wow, that's amazing. This year I committed to putting myself. Oh, good. Effort I put me work doesn't have the same payoff as it used to. I've decided to reclaim some of my energy for myself. That's awesome. That is awesome. And what is that? It's a saying now, self-care it's not bad. Like taking time to do things that you enjoy, that's that is not selfish. That's actually very self-protecting. So love that.
yeah,
Love
you.
that.
Anybody else want to share a boundary, type of boundary?
They've said. And even if it's with your I know, if any of you all are maybe your department lead, um, what that looks like with other teacher teammates or administrative team. Like I'm just curious. Like I said, we can all help each other because you'll find that some of these things do actually resonate. So if anyone has that type of input as it pertains to just kind of making sure we have boundaries with our kiddos, yes, but even those professional boundaries that we have to set with our colleagues. Um, Anyone have that to share? No? Okay. So no one's going to come off mute tonight. Okay.
That's
So
okay.
it's okay. I
We're
just
just
want,
glad. It's okay.
we'll just keep talking. We'll just keep running our. I see Chris and
Really
Kelly.
great. We love
Yes,
that.
and please, I am not. I do. Yes, I definitely appreciate what you are putting in the chat. I really do. Thank you for that. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's some friends still typing. Yeah, again, anything that you can share will be so valuable to everybody listening and then whoever.
Exactly.
Thank you, Chris. Not putting any energy towards people who aren't giving it back. Oh,
Yes.
oh, that triggers me. Oh,
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
that
That. Yes.
so important.
So important. So important.
Running
I
an
love
after school
that.
program and deciding it's going to be your last year. Yeah,
Yeah,
stress is not. Mm-hmm.
exactly. Exactly. Oh, that's
Right.
good. Yeah, no matter their position. That's a good point. Good point. Like we were saying, as it pertains specifically around if it's a colleague, if it's students, parents of students. Absolutely. Agreed. Thank you for that.
Yes,
Awesome.
thank you. Okay. Well, I am going to share a little bit more about just what's happening. I kind of talked about it a little bit already, but just touching upon how it's been the hardest year of my career. Um, this school year has taken a big emotional, physical toll, to the point where I started questioning my whole life choices and choosing teaching as a career. Um, And it's hard because I feel like because I've been doing it for now 11 years, I feel like I also have just like these high expectations on what I'm expecting from my students and myself. And I think part of it could be I'm just being too hard on myself, not
Mm,
giving myself grace for feeling like I should have it all together since
mm,
supposedly a seasoned teacher. You know, I'm not this newbie on the block, you know, just kind of what am I doing now? Like, but I still have moments where I feel unorganized or I forget to take attendance.
mm,
Like just little things like that. I feel like those things just don't ever fully go away. And I think part of the reason why I was feeling so down was because I felt like I was never doing a good enough job
mm,
from a lot of different things, like expectations from admin or the district and you know, being in a leadership position for the grade level, like all the expectations people have there, and like whether they agree with you or not, and still having to put on your happy professional face through everything, even with the students, like when I have my most difficult behavior problem student, kind of like taking a lot of class time, trying to correct things that, you know, I wish wouldn't happen. And I think after I realized that I'm not going to be able to control how everything is, but what I
mm,
can do is make the best of the cards that I've been dealt this year. Maybe accept that it's temporary and
mhm,
just focusing on what really matters. So what I'm there for is like not every kid is going to get perfect grades. There's going to be kids that don't meet the standard.
mhm,
And I think another thing too is like I just have this unrealistic expectation of myself from having like really great test scores the last couple years. Like I feel like I just have to prove to everybody
mm,
that like I'm this great teacher. But I think when I have so many students that I know just are so far behind that they may not get there this year, I think it was a hard pill for me to swallow. Um, and I was burning myself out, just kind of thinking about all of that. And that's too. But the students, something I found that works for the students is brain breaks. I can't
mm.
brain breaks. These kids, they're short attention spans. I know these iPad children need brain breaks. And if you teach high school, I apologize because the kids coming up in Gen Alpha are short attention span and they are getting worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully, we have, as teachers, we have to adapt to the times. And we know it's a global problem. And I love what Chris is saying. We work with little humans, not inanimate objects. Results may vary. Spoken like a seasoned teacher. I love that.
Yes, I love that.
I should put that's like a little quote, like I
Yeah,
want to quote in the teacher's lounge at my school.
that's awesome.
Make
That
that a
is
little
awesome.
sticker for my laptop, please. Thank you. Great.
Thank you. No, and thank you, Krystal, for sharing. I mean, I think this is again when Krystal and I were putting this series together. This is truly at the heart of what we were wanting to do is again just create space. And as you guys are sharing in the chat, like it's so necessary. It truly is so necessary to feel like you can talk amongst your peers and not and feel like it's a judgment-free zone, right? Like we're all kind of in this together. And so feeling the support that comes with that. So I really appreciate like just looking at the reality of the generation that's in our classrooms and knowing that okay, what's needed, what's necessary is brain breaks. And I mean, think about, I mean, I always like, and I think that's so important. Like the kids are little people, like, you know, so think about, I know myself, like when I'm stressed or feeling like, okay, it's intense, I need to sometimes walk away. Like, let me just take a minute. Let me just take a minute so I can recharge and look at this at a different vantage point, you know? So when we think about our kids who attention spans are a lot less than ours, how much more will they need that? So what other ideas would you guys or what else are you utilizing to get through that with the kiddos?
Yeah, if anyone wants to chime in the chat, like how they help their students, you know, what brain break ideas. If not, I have put together something that I think everybody will appreciate, and you'll have access to this whole slide deck after. But I've compiled. If on the screen you can kind of see this little like link thing. So in the brain break section, um, these are some of our, you know, favorite brain break to goes. And it's so great. I love that. Somebody's saying 30-second dance button. That's really fun. And honestly, I feel like the more that you can show the students that this is a place to learn, but it's also a place where we can have fun too, and you kind of build that respect and rapport with them, I feel like it does kind of make the behaviors less. Um, so I found a super cool website. It's called Brain Break Fun. And if you haven't heard of it, this is basically has everything you could possibly imagine on here. And I love it so much because they have themed rooms. So if your students like a specific type of thing, like my third graders, they really like Pokemon. They even have brain breaks for like in Spanish. So if you have like a lot of Spanish speaking students, that's pretty cool. And then there's also rooms by the month. So if we go ahead and look at November, there's 3 categories. They have directed drawings, the brain breaks, and then relaxation, mindfulness. So if we look at the brain breaks, there is a whole slew of ready to go, pick and click, let your students
Nice.
what they want to do. And it's so fun because there's a different room for every month.
I love that. I love it.
Not much. I think, and it's so fun. And I know of like if your students are younger, like kinder or even middle schoolers would have fun with it. But that's cool. There's also directed drawings. So if you have the time for it, like letting your students like have a moment to like draw and color, it's like a fun time. And they have different, you know, themed ones. And my kids love drawing, so I this one's really fun for us. Also, relaxation, creating that coffee shop vibe in your classroom. You know, there's different links here for you could throw up a autumn scene with some background music, you know, change things up a bit, let your students work with some fun, like different things going on, different days. So that's really fun. That is just one link that I've shared in this ultimate link thing here. So that's the Brain Break Fun. There's also some YouTube channels. So we've got Danny Go. He's a real fun character. I think that one's more appropriate for like preschool, kinder, first, second. The Art Hub, the Art for Kids Hub. This one is my favorite for the drawing. I really like how they go through their, I don't know if you never watched any of these before, they're super, super good. Even like a kindergartner could follow along and create some artwork. And even the kids that say they can't draw, they actually come out with some really great things. And there is literally probably thousands of videos on different things. They even got the K-pop Demon Hunters, and they constantly make new videos. So that's a really great channel. And then, you know, I put some example. You could do like yoga with your class. There's Go Noodle, just things like that. I've also linked here Calm Classroom. So like here, these are some of my favorite picks for some things that I use personally in my own classroom, which would be like examples of like you have Snoopy like next to a fireplace, and there's some like lo-fi music in the background, or having that coffee shop. It actually helps with classroom management too. So if you have your kids working with, you know, the instrumentals, they love that. So that's all fun, all for you guys to just have at it. That way you have people, and now you have a whole bunch of really great things that you could try tomorrow if you wanted to with your class. So that's really exciting.
Love.
So
I love this mixed bag of ideas that you've created here. It's awesome. So depending upon, you know, your kiddo's temperament and what kind of like speaks to them as far as relaxation, calms in, whatever, you can kind of pick and choose among the group, the list that Krystal's put together. So thank you for that. That's super awesome. Always ask
yeah.
for music. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's amazing how healing and just calming music can be for our kids, and different types of music. I know like I used to let my kids do like a little of the DJing in the classroom, and that really worked well just because they all kind of aspired to that role of DJing. So that's something to yeah, music is definitely therapeutic. I would love to see if there's any other things, because we're like Krystal was sharing, the goal is to be we're sharing these resources with you all, and while we have these great activities for our students, if there's anything that you think we should add for the teacher side as far as what things, what if there's a list or just anything, if you want to drop it in the chat, that would be really great, because again, it's all about creating this resource so that when we're feeling that burnout, obviously we can recall this conversation. But for someone like me who's super visual, sometimes I just need to see it and it's like, oh yeah, I can do that. So if there's anything else that you wanted to put into chat, or just anything that you use that that helps you with just ensuring that you have healthy, safe boundaries, or just tips and tricks to just get through the moment. Would love to just hear that, see that, so that we can make sure that gets on our resource list.
Yeah, even if you have other websites that you'd
Oh,
love to share
perfect.
with us, or
Yeah.
anything that's helpful, like this is a space for us to share ideas and
Yes.
help each other out.
Yes.
So definitely don't feel like whatever you're doing isn't that great, because really, you might not think it's that great, but another teacher who, you know, hasn't tried it out, or it might be the best thing in the world for them. So
Exactly.
don't be afraid
Exactly.
to share because you're afraid that your idea isn't good enough. And I know that could be a reason why people don't share, but we trust me, anything that you could say will be so helpful in us creating this like toolkit.
Absolutely. And that thank you for that, Crystal. That's where I was looking for our little toolkit that we want to make sure that you guys have access to so you can circle back to. And I see what Chris just dropped into the chat. Thank you so much, Chris.
180 days of self-care for busy educators.
Oh, nice.
On paperback, and it's an Amazon link. They've also got it available on Kindle. So we'll definitely add this to our toolkit.
Very cool. Thank you for that.
Tricks. We will surely add that in there.
Timer app, meditations in the morning before. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know I remember when mindfulness kind of just came on the scene and a lot of us as teachers were trained in mindfulness strategies, techniques, whatever, that we were trying to kind of help our kids get into different breathing techniques. But one of the things I remember when doing mindfulness training is they're like, okay, you as a teacher are wanting to kind of usher your kids into this kind of space of like calm, but they're like, yeah, you as a teacher are doing it, so do it too. You know what I mean? And I thought that was really important to realize. It's like, yeah, that's right, because when the kids are getting hype in the classroom, oftentimes so are we. So it's like let's all take a moment to just kind of like exhale and take a break. So yeah, thank you for that, Chris. That's another great reminder.
That Insight Timer app, do you have a link to that by chance, Chris? Magic School has been a godsend. Magic School AI.
Oh,
I've
okay.
heard good things about that.
Yes, so have I. In fact, I've only reached.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no,
there's. Hmm.
no, that's good. I actually just found out about that a couple months ago, and I was like, this is cool. Yeah, I would agree with you, Nicole. Oh, thank you for
Okay,
looking for it, Chris.
so Nicole, you're using Magic School AI for helping you grade. Is that correct?
Yes, I use
Oh,
it specifically for essays. Um,
okay.
and like I
Perfect.
said, I'm usually opposed to AI. I feel like it's bad for the environment. I'm trying to do my part, but I make an exception for essays. Trying to grade 150 essays, it's just I don't
Yes.
even know how I did it anymore. Now that I have Magic School, I'm like, why did I spend vacations grading
Oh,
essays?
Nicole, this is awesome. No, that's so good. That's so good to get. Yeah, like I feel like using AI responsibly, I think it can be helpful, particularly if it's giving you time back. Oh my gosh, yes.
So much time, and it gives a level of feedback that I could never provide to each and every one of my students. It's so
Oh,
detailed and so
beautiful.
specific. Yeah, so I make the exception, and I will be making the exception until the end of time from now on.
I love that, Nicole. Thanks for sharing. Absolutely. Like honestly, it's like we got to work smart. Like we already work hard, but let's work smarter, right? And so I think that is definitely a testament to that. So thank you for sharing, Nicole. Okay, and oh, here's the insight timer. Cool.
So everything that you are sharing and saying and all these links, I'm putting them together on
Thank you.
our
A resource.
resource here that you will all have access to after our meeting. Um,
Lovely.
so that's really exciting.
Yes.
Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and share if that's okay, Tara, just share the link.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, that way you have access to view everything. So
That's perfect. And so for those of you who are watching this on demand or after the fact, we're going to share it with what we'll do is we're going to share the recording link as well as the resource link with for those who registered. So if you've registered, then you'll definitely be getting both of these resources. And then they'll be in the community. Of course, you can always circle back to the community. So Krystal has just shared the doc. So you'll see if you click on it, all those goodies. You'll see the
Yes,
deck.
you
And
will
then,
see the
yes, all the links that
yeah.
she described. And then you'll also see our space where we're collecting the collaborative insights that you guys are providing. So it is all there for you.
All the tips, the links, anything you have that you're like, I wish I would have seen this in my first year of teaching, like that's kind of like what we want to provide. And obviously any other tips that you have, especially our more very seasoned teachers. I know you have so much wisdom. So again, thank you so much, Chris, like for your service of 30 plus years and then sharing everything with us. Well, I'm sure
Awesome.
everybody's really, really happy. So please, again, if you have anything, don't be ashamed, share it out.
Yes. We we want it all. Like I said, the more we can share out, I feel like the more we're safeguarding ourselves, because we know burnout is real. It happens. Many of us are in it right now, but we also know that we got a finish line to get to, and we want to be able to get there successfully. So we want to be able to help each other, support each other.
Yeah, another thing
Um,
about brain breaks too is that sometimes I, well, first I feel like I'm going to give them the brain break, but I'm going to make it feel like they earned it. So
nice.
I may, like, okay, if we do this, this, and this, then, and you show me you can earn a brain break, because this is third grade. So then they're like, ooh, they try hard. So I kind of use it kind of as a management trick too, just to kind of get them a little more excited when they know like they get to do the fun, whatever it is, 5 minute video or directed drawing or something. And it's also a break for you as the teacher. You're giving your
Yes.
students that little brain break, but to not have to think about what you're doing for a good 10 minutes and just letting the kids have a good time, I don't think there's no guilt in that.
Yes. And
Just feel like you talk and teach 24/7. Like,
that's good. That's good. Yeah, and giving yourself the grace and realizing that you need a moment too. So it's a break for us all. Teacher
I like
student.
what Chris is saying,
Uh,
do multiple jobs within the
oh,
education.
good. No, that's good. That's good. I like that. Yeah, challenging yourself. Sometimes, sometimes we kind of get stuck in a little rut where it's like we want to kind of do what's comfortable and what's easy. And sometimes we kind of challenge ourselves when we push back past our comfort zone and do something, a little different, take on a new challenge. So yeah, I like that. Thank you for sharing that, Chris. Our seasoned veteran who is now going into you are truly so you're in that admired stage, retired and admired. Again, I congratulate you.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with like Chris saying like consider other pathways or jobs within education and like don't feel like you're tied to the classroom because maybe you may find joy in like mentoring
Hmm.
and you feel like you've seasoned yourself so well that maybe you want to become like a district mentor or school-wide leadership, not necessarily principal, but like being a academic coach or something else. So definitely you were called to be a teacher and you can find other happiness if the classroom is too crazy, then use your skills in the best way. So thank you again, Chris. That's awesome. And we've only got about 5 minutes left here. So Tahra.
Is there any, I mean, when, I don't want to belabor this, but does anyone have anything else to share? Anything they want to wrap up with? Final comments? I will just add, I want to make sure I get the date right. We're going to do our final install of the Teachers Lounge on December 16th. So same time, at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to do our last Teachers Lounge. And we are talking about technology, tech tools. So what's working, what's like, and we're gonna just kind of hash that out. And so we hope you'll join us again. If there isn't anything remaining, I see Nicole is still typing, so I don't want to cut that off. But I again, I want to thank you all so much for joining us. Again, we know this is a little later than what you're used to, and that's why we tried really hard to make sure it wasn't so webinar-ish. It was a little more informal and more conversational. So we just appreciate you hanging in there with us, giving us a part of your evening, and we hope you gained something from it. Like I said, this is recorded. We're gonna send it out to all those who registered. So by virtue of you being here, you registered. So you'll get this via email. It will also be in the community. And thank you. I hope you can join us on December 16th for the last session before we close out the year. Thank you. And thank you, Chris, and everyone else, Nicole, all those who participated. We appreciate all your comments and feedback.